I'm Howard Richman. I wrote the program. I'm a programmer. My wife is the one who knows how to relate well to people. I relate really well to computers. I got one son who took right after me, and he's now a programmer for Google. Before that, he was a programmer for Microsoft. I taught myself to program, and this is basically what we're talking about. This is a PHAA transcript produced with a new transcript program, and I'm going to take you through it. My point in this talk is to try to get you not to be afraid of using the new program, which is very important because you're not going to have any choice. This year, you don't have to use it for 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. Next year, you don't have to use it for 11th and 12th graders. The following year, you don't have to use it for 12th graders, and after that, you have to use it, and it's your only alternative. Now, let me give you a little bit of a history here. We started out with handwritten forms. It was basically, if you're familiar with the PHAA form, it was the current basic form. You had the freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year. Here, let me go back one to show you. The freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year in columns, and the subject areas with how many are required along the side. Place for supervisor to sign, place for evaluator to sign, and a place at the bottom for the parent to sign at the end. That's how we started, and they were handwritten. And there's been a progression over the years. First of all, we had forms for every word processing program, and we just simply encouraged people to type the subject areas, and we had one for WordStar, and every different program before Microsoft Word came in. WordPerfect was a popular one. We had different forms for all of them, and we just were encouraging people to type because they wouldn't look so messy. But still, here at PHAA, we accepted them if they were handwritten, if they were typed, it didn't matter. But our standards kept getting stronger and tighter. We wanted to make ourselves look more and more professional. And then my son, who's now a programmer for Google, designed a program in C. That was great, except that computer used for C went by the wayside, and we still had the program, but we lost the source code. And then our address changed, so we couldn't even use the program because I couldn't change the source code. And it was a real dog for him to program. It was like recreating a word processing system, and we finally gave up on that. But by then, Microsoft Word became standard. So we had Microsoft Word forms. And a lot of you have probably been filling out your transcripts with Microsoft Word forms. And those are fairly standard, but Microsoft Word always prints differently. One printer prints this way, another printer. So sometimes the program would fit on the page, and sometimes it wouldn't fit on the page. It would be too wide, or would go onto a second page. And then we started out, we had Social Security numbers on. Well, that became a no-no because with all the people coming over the border from Mexico looking for Social Security numbers, identity theft became a huge problem. And Social Security numbers, and you didn't want to have those and your birth date on the same form because that just gave an identity thief exactly what they needed. So that went by the wayside, and we found more and more colleges, and some always did, wanted GPAs, grade point averages. So we wanted to put the GPA on it, but then we're trying to tell evaluators how to calculate the GPA. And you have to get a spreadsheet out, you have to multiply each grade by the number of credits, you have to sum it all, then you have to divide by the number of credits. And it became more and more of a hassle, and I would, as executive director, I would end up wanting to type the GPA in because no longer was I okay with handwriting on the form at all. Usually the graduation date wouldn't be put in. I had to put the graduation date in. A lot of evaluators would write May 2017, not the actual date in May, and colleges and people want to know for verification purposes exactly what date exactly what day they graduated, what was the day they entered, not just the month that they entered, not even just the year, and some people would just put the year. Anyway, I was spending more and more and more of my time photoshopping. And photoshopping is not easy because first of all, you gotta get the thing lined up square, and people were sending us photocopies, so they'd be at a little bit of angle, so I had to straighten them out, and I could get this. But anyway, it was taking me approximately 10 or 15 minutes per transcript to fix them up later. So I finally wrote the online transcript program. So my point is, we did it for us. For PHAA, but it's still good for you, so that's my whole point today. You will still like it. Our advantages for us were professional appearance. We are getting very standardized. All of our transcripts will look about the same. Automatic calculation of GPA. You don't have to calculate it. When families switch evaluators, the new evaluator just calls up the old transcript. It's already online. There's no typing anything in.
By student number, correct? Because we
by student number. And evaluators have to keep their membership active. That was a big advantage because we had evaluators who were no longer members filling out transcripts, and then we had to, at the very end, we had to say, your evaluator is not a member. I mean, we have a transcript, but they're not a member. They have to rejoin so we can give you your diploma. Now you have to be a member to go online, and so that's an advantage for us, but the main advantage is my time. And I'm 67 now, I'll soon be 68, I've got to pass this on to somebody. I can't pass it on to somebody and say, it's fine except during evaluation, except during transcript season in the fall, and in May, graduation season, you have to spend about 10-15 minutes per transcript photoshopping it. I couldn't tell them that. I want to get this all straightened out and standardized. It's very easy now for me as PHAA director to add something to the transcript, subtract, change it, fix it up. I don't have to Photoshop. My time, it's going to save tremendous amount of time for me. What are the advantages for you? There are some, despite the fact that you now have to learn to do something new. The new program is a lot like TurboTax. Anybody use TurboTax or the H.R. block equivalent? They ask you a whole lot of questions, and at the end, you print out a tax form, and it's beautiful, and it's perfect, and it's typed, and everything is professional, but at first, you go through an interview process. Well, that's basically it. But after you type in all the courses and answer all the questions, in a sense, it calculates the GPA automatically. You don't have to do that. Transcript, we used to ask all the evaluators to mail us the transcript. We still do. At the end of the year, you're supposed to mail us all the transcripts. The parents are supposed to provide us the transcripts too. We wanted you to provide them as a check on the parents. And also because a lot of times the parents weren't providing them. We wanted to get the transcripts because every once in a while we get these embarrassing phone calls. Hello, I'm from such and such a college. Can you tell me a little bit about this student? And we have nothing in the folder. We don't have a transcript. He's already in 12th grade. We don't have a transcript. We don't have an evaluation letter. We have nothing on the student. So at least this would mean our records are up to date and we can actually answer questions. Another advantage for you is it creates PDF transcripts. PDF has now replaced Microsoft Word as the standard. The advantage of PDF is what you see on the screen is what you get when it's printed. PDF started as printer definition format. It was a definition for printing. And it was invented for Macintosh computers, and Macintosh were standard for PDF, so Macs use it, Windows use it, everybody uses it, and it always looks the same on the screen. PDF, there's no problem with fonts going between. You can email a transcript you produce with this new program right to the family. There are other advantages. You can actually email a whole transcript with a cover letter, with the transcript followed by your evaluation letters. You can send it to the NCAA, upload it to the Common App. A lot of colleges will accept emailed transcripts. You can just simply email the whole thing. The whole thing is, when you finish filling it out, if you've uploaded your evaluation letters as PDFs, The whole thing can be emailed by you. That's the advantage, PDF transcripts. Next, there's automatic savings of information. When you go into TurboTax, you enter and you save, and you're at the end of the time, you come back in, you don't have to start all over again, it's all there. And you just add to it. In fact, if you go back the next year, TurboTax pulls up half of your stuff. You don't even have to enter your information about yourself, it's all there, and half of the things you do. That's the kind of thing it is. It's automatic saving, and it's saved online. And the final advantage for you is it makes you look more professional because you're going to have cleaner, neater transcripts. Now, when you join PHAA or renew your membership, you will get a username and password. This is the letter that you did. This is the actual letter that was sent to me. I kind of made up stuff for this talk today. But this is a facsimile of the letter, in which case, here's my name, and underneath is my password. You have that username and password in your letter when you join PHAA. And here's that part which gives the username. It says, to access the private website, go to www.phaa.org. That's our initials, Pennsylvania Homeschoolers Accreditation Agency. What could be simple? We're an organization. PHAA.org. You click on Evaluators website at the bottom of the page. When the Internet security window pops up, type in your username and password. So you type in, and then it said what my username is, Howard Richman, ABC123. Don't believe it, that's not my real password. And then you go up to PHAA, and at the very bottom of the screen, see that gray line? Let me give you a little bit more focus on it. Here's what that gray line says. Private website, Evaluators website, that's the one you want. Excelsior staff's website, that's for the homeschool students. And student webzine, that's anybody in PHAA, and the username and password for that is just standard. You can find it on every issue of the Excelsior, just about on the back page. So Evaluators website is the one that you get, and then you have to sign in. This is what the window looks like. So I put in my username, Howard Richman, and my password, and I click sign in, and I come. Now I've got this made-up student. His name is Student of Evaluator. First name student, middle name O, small letter F. I made it up for this talk. I'm going to be entering them, but first of all I got to get to the transcript program because there's a lot of things on this PHAA Evaluators website. It's not just, let me see if I can move this over just a little bit. It's not just the transcript program, which is the one at the bottom. It's also the other three things, which are the PHAA Evaluators Forum. That's where you can ask and answer questions. You get emails. Whenever anybody asks a question or posts something there, you get an email in your email that's the question. And usually somebody answers it, usually me. You've also got biography posting tools. Have you noticed that when you go to the PHAA website, let me go back to that just to show you what I'm talking about. When you go to this website, at the top of the page it says Evaluators listing. And if you click on that, you see all the members of PHAA, all the evaluators who are currently members of PHAA. Well, if you click on some of their names, you get their biography. And if you want, using the tools for biography, you can even post a picture of yourself. You want to show your potential evaluees that you look like a nice person, you can put your picture up. And there are several evaluators who have. You can just upload your picture. There's also on this site Common App guidelines. When you fill out the Common App, what are you supposed to put as far as how big is the school, how big is PHAA? We have all the answers to all the questions how to fill out the Common App.
That is wonderful, thank you.
You're welcome.
I've used it so often. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And the last one is the transcript program, and the rest of my talk is only about the transcript program. So let's assume I clicked on that, and I go, and this is what you see. The first time I go in, PHAA transcript program. Now I've got to choose the student I'm going to do a transcript for. These are the students I've already done. Esther Cahill, Luke Cahill. They're the ones who are scheduled to evaluate in 2018. And then in 2019, these are the ones that I've done some transcripts for. Those are all the ones, I'm not doing very many evaluations, as you can see. Those are actually my evaluations. That's what I see. But at the bottom of those, it says, here is a list of all PHAA students. Click on the name, then fill in the student number. So you have to get the student number from the student. At the bottom of the page, then click on click the Start This Transcript button. So you do that, and I have this student here. His name is Student of Supervisor. I clicked on the button. And at the bottom of the page, I clicked on put in the number 280219, and then I click on Start This Transcript. And that takes me into the PHAA transcript program for Student of Evaluator. At the top, there's tips for course names. It says choose the course name from the drop-down list. I'm going to show you all of these things. Use the optional second line to extend a long course name. Tips for grades. A course taken at college or high school, don't change the grade. Translate number grades into letters. And we actually have a system, because some people will give you number grades. We don't have number grades. We have letter grades in PHAA. So, if you want to translate them, we have a translation system. 98 through 100 is A+. 88 through 89 is B+. C+ is 78 to 79. Now, how about minus? A- is 90 to 91. B- is 80 to 81, and so on. So you can translate it because you're going to have to use it. If a course is in progress but no grade earned, list the credit but leave grade blank. Tips for credits. Courses in our program only get 1 credit or a half. Those are our only choices. But there are other choices in here. There's a 3-hour per day vocational tech student. How many of you have ever evaluated a student at one of those career schools? Okay, their courses are 3 credit courses. So that's the only time you use a 3 credit course. Because if a student was in a 3 or 4 credit college course, that doesn't get 3 credits. One college course that's either 3 or 4 credits is 1 year of high school. So that's 1 high school credit. And it says here, only use these extra ones, 0.1, 0.2, 0.25, 0.3, 0.4, and so on. Only use them when copying school transcripts, because you're now supposed to enter the grades of a school transcript, and if you don't, I will. So you don't have to worry about it that much. And saving your work. After filling in everything, click Save Info Entered and create PDF at the bottom. Then open the link to the PDF in order to print out the transcript. I'm going to show you all of this. If you download the PDF, you can email it as an attachment to your parents. They can sign it in the places for supervisor signature and snail mail it to PHAA. If you have uploaded all of the evaluation letters, and if this is not the final end of senior year transcript, then you will find a link labeled "Click here to open the complete transcript" as a PDF, including cover letter and evaluations. You can post this PDF to the Common App or email it to a college. But here we are now in the program. The first part is to fill in, this is the name of the student, Student of Supervisor, remember his Courtney name? OF is his middle name, or her middle, she's not she, I decided she's a she. Student of Supervisor is a she, and that's her name. See, that's a girl's name. You didn't realize that. Student's birth date. Now, you might not have to type in this birth date. It depends if they use the modern filing form, which has a place for birth date on it. If they gave us the birth date, it's automatically going to appear here. Notice there's no place that you have to type in the student's address. That automatically gets transferred in from the FAA records.
'Cause
Entrance date, this is because this.
you created that when you assigned their student number, so they're
Right.
already in your system. And we
Exactly.
can't get in there without a student number, so
Right.
you've done half our workforce, thank you.
So this saves a little bit of time, because I used to spend a lot of time retyping all the address in there. So there's some good things for you. This isn't just more work.
See?
Okay, entrance date, this is the entrance date, and this is a student who's graduating in 2018. Student of supervisor is a senior this year. Student of, I don't know which ceremony he or she is gonna participate in, but she's a student this year. Now, the next things are things you only have to enter once, the very first time you come into the program. How do you want your printed name to appear under your signature? And this is how I want my name to appear, Howard B. Richman, comma, PhD. And how do you want your credential to appear under your signature? And you enter this once, and it appears from then on. Now, this next information is college attended info, and then high school course attended info. Some of your kids that you're evaluating have been taking college courses. This student of supervisor lives in Philadelphia and attended Philadelphia Community College. That's the only college she attended. So after the asterisk, college indicated by one asterisk, I wrote in Philadelphia Community College. Now, why do we have high school course attended info? This is new. This is new to the program just the last week. Turns out the NCAA wants to know whenever a student has been in one of the programs that they recognize, a homeschooled student, that they recognized credits for. For example, PA Homeschoolers Online, Center for the Talented Youth at Johns Hopkins. So this will be a provider indicated by one caret. You're going to see how this plays out with this student.
Is there a drop down for all those things, for all those possibilities?
No, there isn't. This is just something you might type in.
Howard.
Where is it on the website? Like, when I'm looking.
Okay, look at the bottom. Keep going. Oh, there. You have to enter a student. Do you have any students entered?
Well, they supposedly are going to be. Like, I thought they already sent their information.
If they're not listed there, they haven't filed with FAA.
Right.
Just like they can see if their evaluators are a current member of FAA by looking at the evaluators list. These things are updated almost every day.
So once their number is in, then we'll see that.
Yes, I'll be showing you that in just a minute.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Now we're doing freshman year. Over this here, let me get this a little bit over more even yet. This is for freshman year. We're starting off the interview. This is the TurboTax interview with freshman year. These grades are final grades, and I am the evaluator. School year, it'll automatically go in there. You can change it. But the assumption is somebody who's going to graduate in 2018, their first school year was 2014, 2015 for ninth grade, for freshman year. If student attended a school, instead of being homeschooled during freshman year, fill in the school name and location, and that's all you do. You can fill in the courses, grades, and credits for a year when the student attended school so that they will be included in the GPA calculation, but only if you can precisely copy the school transcript. Mm-hmm.
What if they were homeschooled all the years, but are only doing FAA for their senior year?
You're going to actually have to come up with, being the evaluator for the earlier years, you're going to have to fill in the transcript for them for those years.
Okay.
You don't have to write the evaluation letter. If they have an evaluation letter, you can use that letter. But that other evaluator wasn't a member of FAA, so they weren't able to.
Well, actually, it was me, but they didn't.
Well, you're going to have to go back and do this for them for 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so that was if they attended school. Oh, optional. You can upload the freshman year evaluation letter if it is in PDF format. freshman year evaluation letter, sample 9 PDF on my computer in this file. I clicked browse, and that clicked open, and I was able to find my evaluation letter for this student. Now, this is continuing the TurboTax interview freshman year English courses. We're doing all freshman year. This is what you see. Course name, optional second line, grade, and credit. To enter a course name, you click anyway. It explains it, but I'll show you. You click right in this box right here, and you get this drop-down menu. This is for 9th grade. These are the likely names of an English course for a 9th grader. English 9, AP English Language, AP English Literature. So you can choose one of them. But, or you can simply type in the space up there where it says course name. You can use the drop down, and that's real quick, one click and you get the whole name in, or you could type in. If your course name extends to the optional second line, you could extend it, yes.
Sorry to interrupt, but.
Sure, Dennis.
With that, since there's a lot of honors course, do you have that option on there too? Or are we okay?
Yes, and one of the options for honors courses is in the optional second line. If I clicked on that, one of the alternatives is to pull an honors course. It would say that in parentheses on the second line underneath it. Or you could call it Honors English 9. We're a little bit flexible. Or HON period English 9, or just leave out the period. So the optional second line is where you find honors easily. In this case, we chose English 9, so it came up here. And now I'm going to choose the grade. And let me show you what comes up under grade. A plus, A minus, B plus, B minus, C plus, C minus, D plus, D minus, P for pass, F for fail, and I for incomplete. And then, I think this student earned an A, so I chose the A, clicked on it with my mouse, and now we're going to the credit line. And here are the options under credit. The top two are the ones you'll most likely use. 1, 1/2, then there's 0, 0.1, 0.2, and so on. For an English course, you don't have any option that goes above 1. 1 is the highest number of credits you could use.
But we can use a 1/4 credit? That's possible?
Yeah, oh, that's the
1/4?
one
Okay.
that
Yeah, I
I'm
see.
choosing at the very top.
No, 1/4, not 1 full.
There's 1 at the top.
1/4, a quarter.
Yes,
credit.
1/4
That's
is there,
possible. Okay.
1/4. It has a nice abbreviation.
I thought you said that FAA only recognizes one.
This
one
is
credit and a half
when
a
you're
credit.
filling in school transcripts is when you would use 1/4, or 0.1 or 0.2 or
But
0.3.
for us, we only award one or
Yes, we only
half.
do 1 or
One
half.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood, Ann. Thank you, Patty. So anyway, this is very typical. English 9, this person got an A, student got an A, 1 credit. Next on the interview page would be math courses. And then after that would be science courses. And this is the drop-down list you see for science courses. Physical science, biology with lab, chemistry with lab, physics with lab. Why do I put specifically with lab? Well, we have right in the bylaws that if you do biology, chemistry, or physics, they have to have a lab component. That means at least 3, you can read it right in the bylaws, at least 3 hands-on component experiments. With biology, they're usually dissections or microscope work. There's a lot of things that they can do that are very accessible at home. Apologia textbooks have easy-to-do experiments. Top Science has experiments that can be done at home. They've got a chemistry experiment where you give them 3 white kitchen powders. They have to figure out which one it is: baking powder, baking soda, salt, sugar, and maybe there's a 5th one. and you don't tell them what that is. They have to use a series of scientific tests, just like what I did in the chemistry lab in college, except I was not using kitchen powders that are perfectly safe. But I was given a substance and I had to do chemical tests and analyze it. Whatever it is, they have to do a hands-on component. Now, why are we really emphasizing it now? I got 2 phone calls this year from graduates of our program who were applying for nursing school, and they were maybe not going to get into nursing school. Why? Because they didn't have any labs mentioned in their evaluation letters or on their transcript. Nursing schools are extremely strict over this. You may think that none of your graduates are going to go to nursing school, but kids change their mind, and nursing is one of the quickest degrees to get. 2 years, and you pass an exam, and you've got a job, and it's a fairly good paying job. You can keep going up in the world. You can even get from one nursing to the next with more education, and it's a very good. These kids may not know they're going to go to nursing school, and all of a sudden they find out that not having a lab on their transcript or on their evaluation letters is going to prevent them from going to nursing school. How frustrating could that be? It's your responsibility. So what do you do when you get the evaluation, and the person just did a Becca biology, and they didn't do any lab, and what do? What I do is I have this whole process, a letter to the student and parent, basically saying, this course is going to be entitled Biological Science until I get, you email me some information on the labs that you did. You can do 3 labs between now and the end of the year. When you email that, I will change the name from Biological Science to Biology with Lab. And this is your responsibility to help your students for their future. So that's why I specified them Biology with Lab, and that's why I'm really putting an emphasis on that this year. See, biological science is an option. Chemical science is an option. Physical science is an option. If they do a biology textbook but no lab, biology becomes biological science. Okay, so biology with lab was the course, and so on. Freshman year social studies, we're going down there.
I'm still a little confused with credits. Like, where do we, like, is it in the diploma program booklet?
Yes.
That has all the
Yes,
different credits
basically,
all the-
for courses other than English, something that's equivalent to 120 hours, or 2/3 of a textbook, is 1 credit. Something that's equivalent to 60 hours, or 1/3 of a credit is a half. 1/3 of a textbook is a half credit. So that's how we make the decision. And we don't have a provision for quarter credits. It's not like I'm going to throw out your transcript because you have a quarter on it. But those are the basic rules. Most people put down, if they put down quarter credit for anything, it's phys ed, because in the schools, that's how much students get. They get a quarter credit for phys ed. They have to do it 4